Two separate deadly crashes on one Springfield street last Friday is prompting a response from local police. Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson joins us in studio with what they're doing to slow drivers down. Maria.
Chris, both of those crashes only happening a couple miles from one another on Friday, and we drove up and down Parker Street earlier this evening where you can already see more Springfield police cruisers. The Springfield Police Department telling drivers to slow down. This message coming days after two separate crashes on Parker Street turned deadly on Friday. The first, a single-car crash which claimed the life of Stephanie Croto, who tragically lost her mother and daughter in a shooting on Berkshire Ave almost 2 months ago. Then, hours later, around 6 p.m., a motorcyclist was severely injured following a crash also on Parker Street. He later died from his injuries. Now, Springfield police are increasing traffic enforcement in a section they call a, quote, problem area for speeding.
Our officers are out there to slow everybody down.
Springfield police adding patrols, overtime, traffic details, and signs like this one, letting drivers know about the extra enforcement.
A lot of the fatal crashes that have occurred on Parker Street in the past few years have been single vehicle crashes, so speed plays a factor in those.
Neighbors also agree speeding is a big problem.
Something needs to happen here. It looks like a runway drag strip down here.
Steve Devereaux has lived on Parker Street for nearly a decade. He says the reckless driving has only gotten worse in recent years.
There have been many accidents there. There have been many accidents down here. It seems like common courtesy has gone out the window.
As part of the city's response to the speeding problems on Parker Street, extra patrols have been in place since last Saturday, and Devereaux has already noticed.
I appreciate the police presence, but now I appreciate the recognition of something needs to be done.
And since the added patrol started last Saturday, police say that they have already issued more than 100 citations. Those citations will be tracked by the Springfield Police Department to make sure that tickets are being enforced in court. In studio, Maria Wilson, Western Mass News.